So I've been having more and more people ask me about my shoes that I've been wearing. They are a company called Serious Player Only. They opened up maybe 2.5, 3 years ago when they unveiled their first shoes. They model their shoes after the Kobe's 8s, 9s, and 11s. I think they kind of started up during the pandemic, and also while after Kobe died and stuff, and the shoes were kind of hanging in the balance on like whether they're gonna make any more or if the Protros were going to continue and all that stuff. So they decided to just make a company that, was dedicated to running the designs, the tech, uh, anything that was like the Kobe brand, because there's a lot of people out there who just want their Kobe's back. The shoes I have the Series Player Only. That's the brand name. I have the Player One Plus, which is like the third generation, and I have the Fine China, as in like the colorway. At first, I'll show you limited size sale because that will show you first generation, second generation. Player 1 was the first generation, and these were like the colorways. The difference on these is that when they first came out, there was a certain traction pattern. I mean, it was good except for there were small nubs, and some of the reviewers were saying how these nubs were easy to like wear away, especially if you wear them for outdoor use. A lot of these YouTube reviewers would put in like their suggestions to the company and everything, and they took the feedback and they incorporated some, upgrades and design changes for the next ones. Player One 2023 is the next gen, so that's like their second gen. Um, they kind of improved the outsole a little bit, made a little more thicker on like the pattern or the rubber like density, kind of similar. They changed something about how the shoe fit, the sizing. The first generation had a lot of issues on like running too small, so people would have to buy half size up or full size up. If like for me, I wear 9, so if I were to buy the first or second gen, I would probably have to go 9.5 or 10. So those were the colorways for those, and then third generation went over to Player One Plus, which is the one I have. And in order, it's from release would be like this one, this one, this one, and then it would go down to the latest ones would be this one and then this one. Um, so this is third generation. They have a fourth generation that is a budget model. I'll show you that after, but they came out with this where they add GS. I don't know what that is, but what it is it gives you a certain type of drop-in midsoles to put in your shoes. Not insoles, but drop-in midsoles. If you don't know the difference, I'll talk about that later. So what they did with these shoes, let's go to one that you can see the colors better. Okay, so this one. So the traction pattern changed significantly. So this is the traction pattern I have now. It's a lot thicker on the lines. Um, I don't know if they're more dense, but they're very sticky. As in like they grip really well to the ground, whether the ground is clean or dirty. Like court floors, they just grip really well. If you wipe them, you're gonna get that extra grip. But like you almost don't even have to wipe them, and it's still good. The game one is the budget model, and also I think it might be okay. So they have low top versions, and I think these are like I think this one right here is like yeah the mid. So it's a little more like high top, also mid, but not this one's not as tall as that one. 138 versus the 180. But with the Player One Plus, you get two drop-in midsoles rather than the one. So this pros and cons. I wrote this up real quick. The traction's really good. It's so good. It you can turn on a dime. you can run and just grip really fast. It's really good. Lace lockdown is great. You can actually like lock down in certain areas, like towards the front of the shoe or the middle or the top or whatever, and then decide where you want to lock it. And then once you tie it, it just stays really well. Explosive drop-in midsoles. I bought that as an a la carte drop-in midsole. It didn't come with it. It came with two other midsoles, and I turned out to not really like those as much. So luckily, I did buy the a la carte drop-in midsole. I'll show you that soon. The upper material is like some type of synthetic plastic type thing. So it's not really like, I don't know, like cotton or fiber in a way where it's just gonna trap heat. It's pretty breathable. A midfoot shank plate. It's carbon fiber. I'll probably show that in like another angle, whatever. But it keeps the shoes from for like torsion support. It's really rigid. So the cons. What I found is that there's slight heel slippage, and because of the traction, you kind of forget about it. Over time, you kind of forget about it. But my Kobe 11s that I had, man, those things locked my heel in place. These, not as much, but you kind of forget about it. I've been wearing these shoes for a month now, and it's not a problem at all. I mean, I did email them, and I'm like, I kind of want the heel lockdown to be better, but it is what it is for now. I think there's enough YouTube reviews that are talking about it, so they're probably gonna do something about it. The tongue, they added a little bit more padding to the tongue on the third generation, but I still think it can use double the amount of padding, because when I lock down my laces, I can actually feel the laces in at the top of my foot. So if you tie it too tight, when you try to run forward and lean forward, you can feel the lace into the top of your foot. I pretty much just like kind of not tighten it as much, but the shoes are still good. They grip really well. The heel slippage is not a big deal, and it's fine that way. I find that if I don't tighten it too much, I'm good. As long as I tighten like the toe box area and maybe the top part, maybe not as much. Like I said, yeah, you can feel the laces through the tongue if you tie down super tight. The toe box in the front of the toe, I feel like there's a little bit of space there. Maybe I have regular to narrow feet. I feel like it could be a little more snug, which I would rather have than have any give in it. Um, but it's all right. It's I've gotten used to that too, and I kind of forget that part of it. New laces untie somewhat easily. Yeah, I feel like that happens with a lot of shoes. Over time, I guess as they get a little bit more dirty and have a little more grit, they stay better. It's been a month. Yes, they do stay better. Every once in a while, they untie. You have to retie them. But I feel like maybe another month, maybe another, maybe like 3 months in, like I'm probably not gonna have that problem anymore. So these are my Kobe 11s I had. I ordered these in 2016. I ran them as a Nike ID. So I designed them with the color, whatever material, whether I wanted the clear or translucent bottoms, and I went with like the bottoms that were a solid color because I heard that those had better traction than the translucent clear ones, and it's been really good. Lately, yeah, it's been 7 years. Yeah, it's been over 7 years for the shoes, so the traction is not as grippy as it used to be, but the shoe's still good. It's still running well. I mean, if I wanted to, I could still wear these. For the heel slippage, I actually took uh, aluminum foil and I put it inside the shoe, and I pressed it up on the back, and I pressed it up on here, so you can kind of see the shape. Once I took it out, and how my heel is like right in there locked. While this one has this curve, but there's this weird indentation right here that kind of releases my heel out, and that's when I realized like that's the reason why I'm losing I'm slipping my heel a little bit. But if you look at it, like, this shoe looks very similar to each other. And with the Kobe 11s, they never had the carbon fiber. They never had a mid-foot shank plate. So there's no rigidity there besides the drop-in midsole that you have with the shoe. So the midsoles they have. So for the most part, there's quick, strength, support, and explosive. So the quick one is super light. There's nothing to it. It's very dense, super light. You can feel the difference once you have these in the shoes. That you probably move quicker. I don't know by how much, but strength. I forget why the naming is like that, but it has like this gum and it has this popcorn piece. It's almost like I don't know if it's like boost or boom material like in the other shoes, but it's here and it's also on the forefoot of the drop-in midsole. And for the support, same thing as this, except for it has a plastic plate that goes up and it kind of curves into the foot a little bit. And explosive is as close to what I had in the Nike Kobe 11s when I did my Nike ID, because I custom made it, and I ordered a full length zoom unit in my drop-in midsoles for that one, which if you buy it in stores, you don't get that. The zoom unit is usually only in the heel or it's only in the forefoot, but it wasn't a full length thing. So the full length zoom I had for the drop-in midsole, it's how do you say it? Like kind of maybe like spongy, but it was responsive. So if you land on it, it's pretty bouncy. You feel like you get some energy back. The idea of the explosive is similar that way. You jump and you land on it. You got that impact protection, same as these, except for this one feels like it bounces back a little bit. So if you're gonna go make your approach and jump straight up, it feels like it gives you a little more back. So same thing. So I'm gonna leave that up there. So quick is this, full solid, same material. There's no extra padding below it. Strength has that padding below it. Also slick on top. These nubs are supposed to be sticking to your socks, so that keeps your shoes from your feet from sliding forward and back. And it's kind of cupped up on the sides as well to like hug your foot. My problem is that these are the two that came with the shoes, and luckily I bought this one. But these two came with it. For about 3 weeks I tried this, and one of my game days I tried this one for a third of the day, and I tried this one for a third of the day, and then this one back to this one for the rest. And I found that with these, it's almost like I am jamming my toes into a wall if I have to run forward and come to a complete stop, or if I am running an approach to jump straight up. I feel like my toes are running right into a wall, and you get used to it, but it doesn't feel good, and you know it's happening every time. So I don't know why I have not seen any YouTube reviewers talk about that at all. I don't know what it is that they don't feel it, but I think it's just because of how slick this material is. No matter how much these nubs are there, I never got this support one, so I don't know how it is with like this plastic that goes all the way from the back to the front. How much support it gives. How a little more rigid it is. This material, if it's not slick like this, maybe it's a little more grip, but I have no idea. So I don't know how that's going to react. With this one, this is my favorite one, and I've tried this one, and this one. But it has like a fabric material, like this yellow fabric material, and this black part is actually a kind of like a rubberized gel like print. So like when you put your sock on it, it's tacky enough to just hold your sock, and your foot's not gonna move. It's not gonna move left, right, forward, whatever. It will just lock your sock down, which is really good. And I did not have the sensation of feeling like my toes were like getting knocked into a wall. It held really well. I think the only thing is like I wish they had multiple colors. I think they're about to come out with multiple colors, but from the start of it, they're just coming out with yellow. So the sport one is this one for that. You can see like that piece right there. And then I guess these yellow pads also keeps the drop-in midsoles from sliding forward and back inside the shoe. Yeah, there's a lot of Chinese brands coming out at the moment. I don't know 361 degrees. I haven't heard of it, but I've heard of Li Ning, which is like the way of ways, wows, and also not that one. I don't know this one either, but Anta is another one I've been hearing about. From what I hear, like the grip's really good. For the grip on this one, I think is really good. I haven't tried it, but I've heard about it. I think a lot of people I know have tried it. The YouTube channels I watch, TheSoleDrop. So this guy, I actually met him at a restaurant by accident up in by coincidence up in Orange County. Really good reviews. I watch like his videos like maybe every week when he buys like all the brand new shoes all the time. He tests them out. WearTesters is another one I watch, and then Foot Doctor Zach is someone I watch too. He actually, I believe he's a foot doctor, and also he cuts the shoes in half, like literally in half, so that you can see a side section of it to see what tech they have in there, what materials. He'll run like a ball bearing test where like he'll bounce the ball bearing on the heel or the forefoot and see how high it bounces. He runs a lot of different tests. It's a little more like a checklist of like all the things that he does for like every shoe that he reviews. This is a really good video. It's pretty short. The difference between insoles and drop-in midsoles gives you a better idea. If you have a shoe that has drop-in midsoles, I mean, I've had shoes since 2016 for drop-in midsoles, and what you can't do is you can't add an insole with a thin insole that you can't add to that. You can't add. I mean, you could, but it's gonna change the whole design, the whole feel, the whole lacing of the shoes. It just doesn't work the same. You can't add an orthotic on top of this. It would just be way too thick. It just wouldn't work. So, if you're gonna buy from Serious Player Only, I bought actually because I wear size 9, so I bought size 9. I bought size 9.5. I bought size 10. Had all three of them shipped to me. I bought the drop-in midsoles that were the explosive ones. I bought size 9, 9.5, and 10, and I had all those shipped. So I had 6 items shipped to me, and I wanted to make sure that if I'm gonna buy $180 pair of shoes and $44 pair of drop-in midsoles, that I got the exact fit. So when I got them, I tried on the 9. I'm like, dang, this is way too tight. I don't know if this is gonna be it. I'm like, okay, let's try the 9.5. And like 9.5, I was messing around with like, jumping, sidestepping, approach, 3 steps, take a jump as high as I can, forward back, movements and everything. And I really thought for about an hour and a half of like testing it out. I'm like, this might be the size I'm gonna have to go with, even though I normally wear 9s. And then I put back on the 9s, and I got so lucky that I put back on the 9s. Like, wait, these actually fit, like, really close to what my Kobe's were. They just, when they're brand new, they're a little more stiff, and they feel like they're just way too small. And over time, it kind of molds with your feet, breaks in a little bit, and it's actually good. But you don't get to do that when you have these brand new shoes. They want the boxes to be pristine condition, the labels, no marks on the shoes, nothing. So like for my tile floors in my house, I clean those up like crazy, like to make sure that there were no dirt marks, whatever. So when I was testing it out, I made sure that it wouldn't leave any marks or nothing. I made sure that I did everything minimally so that it would not crease the shoes or in any way. And so when I went and returned the shoes, they asked me, "Hey, we need to see pictures of the shoes. We need pictures of the boxes." I gave them pictures of like every single angle I could think of on the shoes, every side of the box. I sent them the pictures for, and once they approved it, they said, "Okay, you can ship it to this address, which is an address somewhere in California." Even though they initially shipped the shoes over from China over to my house, but there's some place up in like LA area that you would ship your shoes to if you're going to make the returns, as long as they approve it. And once I turned those in, it shipped it up to them. And maybe it took like 3-4 days to get up to that location, but it took about 2-3 weeks of like following up with them asking me questions. And I mean, they finally gave me the refunds on the sizes 9.5s and the sizes 10s, because I kept the size 9s. The pair of shoes size 9, and also the drop-in midsoles that I bought separately for the explosive kind. So I kept the size 9s on those as well. So yeah, refund process was like about 3 weeks. Generation 1 and 2 for the shoes. Yeah, I think when they were starting out as new as a company, I think they were running their shoe sizes a little bit too small. If you like a snug fit, I'm gonna say true to size. If you're afraid of that, go half size up, or you can do what I did and just buy like true to size and then also half size up and then test it out. Drop in midsoles versus regular insoles. I'll have that video. I'll see if I can link it in this video, and you can take a look at that. The order took, from the time I ordered, I'm gonna guess that it took 10 days by the time it arrived to my door. I don't remember exactly, but I think it's around 10 days. Company's I think less than 3 years. It might be 3 years old now. I've been watching their videos forever. I've been waiting for them to update their colorways. A lot of colorways I didn't care for. A colorway came out in Generation 2 that I thought I wanted, and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna wait, and then it finally sold out. And I'm like, dang, I missed it. But luckily, I found out that it had like a certain emblem on the side, or like a logo that I didn't like, but I didn't see in like their promo pictures. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm good with like not getting that one. I haven't had a pair of white shoes in forever, but I felt like because this wasn't like the typical fabric type of shoes, or like a certain material where like it would just pick up stains, I felt like I was good to go ahead and pick this one, because I normally have darker shoes and everything. Yeah, they started out, inspiration from Kobe 8s, 9s, and 11s. The YouTubers I watch, TheSoleDrop, WearTesters, and Foot Doctor Zach. They've done a lot of videos on it. They've done videos for every single generation of that shoe. I think these two have. I'm not sure if he's done every single generation of the series player only. So back to this GS. So, for example, all these Player 1 Plus, Player 1 Plus, these are like the third generations. They come with the quick and the strength. So this one and this one. So you can swap them out if you wish. This one you have to buy separately. Costs $44. I can't say anything about that one because I don't know. But this GS one, I believe now comes with the quick, I believe, and the explosive, which is probably great, because that would save me $44. If I buy the next pair, I'm gonna make sure that I buy a GS option. Let's double check. Comes with explosive and quick. Yep. So yeah, so this explosive is not even yellow. So they made it color coordinated with the actual shoe itself. And most of the shoes they color coordinate with the shoe color. Um, but when they sold this a la carte, it was only that like bright highlighted yellow color. So the regular one that's not GS. Yep. So it's a quick and strength. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. So a lot of different colorways. If I go to the first one that they unveiled for this third generation, you're gonna see a lot of sold out. So when it's dark like this, these are all sold out. And then the sizes that are left. Um, almost every color in the order that they come out, they sell out fast, especially like the common sizes. But if you miss them, I actually think that they added more of these recently. I think these sold out, and they came back and added a little bit more inventory for it. I don't know. I don't think that was a common thing. This one sold out really fast. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, I think I covered everything. Yeah, that's it.